right. Rudy Carpenter is joining us right now. He always is with us here on a Monday as we talk Cardinals, and we'll do some Territorial Cup conversation with Rudy as well, since he is a former Sun Devil quarterback and an NFL QB. Rudy, I just want to dial in quickly with how come the Rams have the number of the Cardinals, because they have dominated them for like 4 or 5 years now. Hello, Rudy.
How's it going?
Oh, there he is. Okay. Did you hear my question?
I did not.
Okay, here you go, pal. How come the Rams have the Cardinals number? Because they have dominated them for 4 or 5 years now.
Oh, man. Well, I think if I had the answer to that question, I'd be probably, under a 4-year contract worth, $5 or $6 million a year, with the Cardinals. So I don't know if I have the answer, but, yesterday was, I think, the first time that I watched a Cardinals game this season where I just felt like there was not just a lack of talent, not just a lack of execution, not just a lack of decision making, especially on Kyler's, side of things, but I really felt like yesterday there was a lack of, I don't know, overall energy, maybe overall want to, maybe, guys feeling as if the season's over and they're not necessarily motivated to play. I've really felt like the entire season up until yesterday, even though they were losing, we still saw a bunch of motivated players.
Yeah, Rudy, I concur with that. I'd mention almost per ditto what you just said, because as I watch games, as you do too, there just wasn't that I call juice or energy from either side of the football. And on top of Kyler, yeah, he missed several throws, missed several reads. I thought he forced a couple things. And the one thing you talk about that kind of brought to my attention maybe a couple years ago, had the helter-skelter way of when the Cardinals win is how Kyler Murray has to be versus a clean game, winning in the pocket, not having to run all over the place like we saw with Matthew Stafford yesterday.
Yeah, I think Matthew Stafford had a real clean game yesterday. He had a really high completion percentage. I think he had 4 touchdown passes and no interceptions, if I remember correctly. He had one errant throw on a deep dig to Puka Nacua where he just really, really missed him. I think that was like in the third or the fourth quarter. But outside of that, just a really high level of execution and really good decision making. But again, when I watched the Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray as their quarterback over the last 3 years, 4 seasons, it just feels as if he needs to do everything for that team to even have anywhere near a chance to win. He has to have, it's like he has to have a super high completion percentage. He has to throw for 300 plus yards. He has to throw for 2+ touchdowns. He can't turn the ball over. He has to rush for, over 60 yards and maybe another rushing touchdown. Again, I understand he's the number 1 overall pick. I understand he's got a, $250-something million contract right now. I know they expect him to play at a super high level, but again, I just feel like this is a Cardinals team. This is a Cardinals roster since he's been there that is just too reliant on Kyler Murray to do too much on the offensive side of the ball, and I think he feels that too. And because of that, you see him play that way. He tries to make throws and force throws and fit balls in that he doesn't always need to do. You rarely see him take the easy play. You rarely see him put the ball in play and allow his guys to go make plays for him. You see a lot of Kyler Murray, in my viewpoint, trying to play hero ball. A matter of fact, his first game back this season from injury was one of the rare times where I didn't see him trying to play hero ball, and it was one of the better games he's had as a Cardinal, and they won. But unfortunately, the third game back with Kyler, he's, kind of back to playing that hero ball, and obviously we see how that goes.
I will also say this, watching that game and seeing that opening drive by the Rams going down and scoring, and a very good opening drive by the Cardinals to go down. I think they were he had 5 completions. He was 5 for 5. But after that, the Rams go 30 unanswered before the Cardinals score, 6 points at the very end of the game. I call them garbage yards and garbage points. I watch, I think, Drew Petzing as a young offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator for the Cardinals, and I'm seeing them get out coached during the game because you saw adjustments by the Rams on both sides of the ball where I didn't see any kind of adjustments or scenarios which would help or continue that kind of a drive they had in the opening drive in that first quarter.
Yeah, again, it's hard for me to say he's, out coached or whatever it may be, even adjustments, because I'm not in their meetings and I don't see, what they're trying to do at halftime. And I obviously don't watch the all 22 tape to know. But one thing I do know is when you watch a Kyle Shanahan coach team, when you watch a Sean McVay coach team, when you watch a Mike McVay creative football, you see creative formation, you see creative shifts in motion, you see creative run plays incorporating all of their super explosive, talented guys. And you also see a lot of easy plays for the quarterback, whether it's easy completions, whether it's easy quarterback runs, whether they're easy half-field reads or half-field progressions where
3 minutes.
He's getting a chance to take a deep
Wouldn't
shot.
keep him that long because his phone.
That's not available. There's a shallow underneath route or some kind of check down for him to get the ball out of his hand and put the ball in play. So that way, instead of going from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 10, they at least go, 1st and 10 to 2nd and 5, or it's 1st and 10 to they hit a big play down the field. But, again, with Kyler and this Arizona Cardinals team, whether it's with Cliff or this new coaching staff, you just don't see it. And it's surprising to me because the NFL is really a copycat league. And so to me, it's a little surprising that you don't see, what Kyle Shanahan and what Sean McVay and what Mike McDaniels is doing on the offensive side of the ball. I'm just surprised you don't see more teams, trying to do that. I just think it's also really impossible. I mean, when you watch the Kansas City Chiefs play, they ask Patrick Mahomes to do a lot. And, he makes a lot of big time plays. And I think that's really important. But I don't think Kyler Murray's Patrick Mahomes. I don't think there's any other Patrick Mahomes in the NFL. And unfortunately, I think too many teams putting too much pressure on their quarterback.
Rudy Carpenter is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Rudy, we'll let you go on this one. Your overall thoughts on the Territorial Cup, a game where you were a winning quarterback. It just goes to show, I think, how far Arizona State is down and how they will have to try to build if they're going to be competitive in their new conference, which is the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no sugarcoating it. ASU is nowhere near where they want to be. And, one of the encouraging things is you see a lot of coaches because they're always in job security and job protection mode. They always want to make excuses. They want to blame the former coaching staff. They want to say, if we made a few plays here and there, things would be different. That's one of the things I actually really like about Kenny Dillingham right now is he's not making excuses. He's just telling everybody exactly where they're at, how far away they are from being good, how much they need to do and what they need to do in order for them to get better. And I appreciate that about Dillingham. And I think that, you have to address or admit some of the problems that you have before you can get better. I also think you got to give Jed Fish and the University of Arizona coaching staff a lot of credit because that was a terrible program before they got there. And they've been able to turn that thing around pretty quickly. And they're obviously having a lot of success. And so it does give you a blueprint, does show you that ASU could turn it around, fairly quickly, especially if you can hit on some recruits and take advantage of the transfer portal.
Rudy, it's always great when you come on the show. Thank you, pal. Have a great day.
Hey, guys. See ya.
There you go. Rudy Carpenter. He's presented by All City Towing. And if you're looking for a career that pays great and has great benefits as well, All City Towing continues to look for new people to